Hey bibliophiles and those raising bibliophiles. Without ratings and warning labels, finding which books are appropriate for your children to read is like navigating wild terrain without a map and a compass. I don't know about you, but I have been burned more than once handing my child a book that I thought was clean and appropriate for them to read. I'm a fellow mom, educator, reading specialist, and literary enthusiast trying to find great books for my children and yours to read. So if you're looking for a real review from a mom with a biblical worldview, then welcome and enjoy this week's book review. So this week's book review is for book 2, The Green Ember, Ember Falls by S.D. Smith. And this is book 2 in the Green Ember series. Picking up where book 1 ends, Heather and Pickett are determined to find their family, but they're restrained due to an impending war as Morbin Blackhawk continues to threaten their efforts to defy him. Prince Smalls must leave to rally the other citadels of rabbits under his leadership, but this is a tall order after years of a broken structure and many with their own desires and aim for leadership. Small's absence leaves the rest of the citadel to battle and hold out against impending war. Additionally, it is revealed that Emma, Heather's dear friend, is actually sister and heir of Prince Smalls. Emma herself is unaware of her lineage, and Smalls is determined to keep it a secret from her in order to keep her safe. However, in the event that something happens to him, all of it has to be revealed to Emma. Heather is really just fraught with having to keep this really big secret from her dear friend. And so that's kind of as the story opens. Before I go any further, though, I do want to read just a little bit of the opening to you. There is a prologue. I'm going to skip over the prologue just a little bit because it probably won't really make sense unless you're reading through the whole series at the moment. But I do want to read just a little bit of the opening just to give you an idea of the writing style, of the story, just in case this is the first time you are kind of encountering the Green Ember series. So the first chapter is called A Mission. Pickett Longtreader moved through the fog, uncertain which way to turn. He was careful to be quiet. The enemy might be lurking just beyond the bank of mist ahead. He hoped they were. Pickett could only faintly make out the swish and tap of his companion's deft steps. Smalls, the prince, was with him, and Pickett was with the prince, heart and soul. The fear was there, familiar and clear. Pickett inhaled, acknowledging its presence, while at the same time assigning it a place of service. It would have to sharpen his mind. Fear would not, could not be his master. Not today. There was too much at stake. His parents needed him. His brother Jax needed him. Pickett hoped this was his chance to free some or all of them, if any were still alive. He swallowed hard and hurried on. After another minute, he sensed that the prince had stopped moving. He felt a touch through the fog. Smalls appeared beside him, out of the mist, a worried look on his face. He bent close to Pickett's ear and whispered, "This is a perfect place to keep slaves for their mine, deep in this valley near the river, and the foothills at the high bleaks. But we should have heard them long ago. I haven't heard one shout or the rattle of a single chain. Have you?" "Nothing," Pickett answered. He was worried that Smalls would want to stop, to return to the main force a mile back where Lord Victor Blackstar and Captain Helmer waited with a regiment of soldiers, capable of liberating the slaves they'd been assured were here. "I want to go on." "I'm not sure that makes a lot of tactical sense," Smalls said. Pickett knew he was right, especially with the prince himself present, but Smalls had insisted on personally accompanying his friend on this mission. He said that honor demanded it. Now that they were here, Pickett didn't want to turn back. And so they kind of keep going, but what you find out is that this is kind of like a trap in a sense, and the information that they had been given is false. You'll also, throughout this story, I'm not sure how well this translates, but there are illustrations throughout that are just absolutely wonderful into the story throughout, and readers will definitely kind of enjoy those within the story. So as the first battle really ensues, though, when there's an actual fight taking place after Smalls has left and their citadel is trying to protect. So they do have a battle. The rabbits are actually really clearly on the losing side here until a mysterious rabbit and his army appears, and they really turn the tide of the battle, helping them all survive. The leader of this new army is the Silver Prince Bleston, brother to King Jupiter and uncle of Smalls and Emma. Now, Blesston ushers in assurance and peace within the Citadel, but his arrival and rules do not sit well with Pickett and Heather, who sense that something is actually kind of off. Additionally, Kyle, who is from book 1, he reappears, and he is the son of Blesston. Given his treachery in book 1, many are rightfully skeptical of his reappearance. Before too long, word is received that Cloud Mountain is in danger. And if you are familiar with book 1, that was really the setting for book 1. So they are in danger, and Morbin's army is set to take them over. In an effort to come to their aid, Halfwind Citadel moves and coordinates to come to their aid. However, in the midst of the movements and the preparations, Uncle Wilfred returns with news that Smalls has died. Emma must now be informed of who she is, and she must take on the mantle of leadership. Emma is informed. Everyone is in place for battle. The intense war for Cloud Mountain begins, and it isn't long before those from Halfwind Citadel are overrun and almost doomed when Bleston's betrayal is finally made apparent. Committed to protecting Emma, Pickett arrives in time twice to save her, once from Bleston and second from Pickerington, who is Pickett's friend. Before all is done, the army of Halfwind and Cloud Mountain manage to survive and regain ground as Morbin's further troops are called off. Heather later learns that this is because Emma has agreed to surrender to Morbin herself. Heather discovers Emma in the night and takes her place before it's too late. And as the story ends, Heather is in the lair of Morbin. Her identity is revealed, and she hears the sweet singing of her mother, which encourages her heart and gives her hope, knowing that her mother actually is still alive. I encourage you to go to holdingsteadfastreaders.com. You are going to get a few more details that I don't go over here on this review. There's a mention of some quotes and just some particular things that happen within the story that I think are helpful for parents to know. Parents, overall, you are going to appreciate really an adventurous story for readers, full of courage, perseverance, endurance, what it means to bear the mantle of responsibility. Pickett's advice is what really led to Small's death, and his uncle gives him solid yet hard advice that he must face and fulfill his duty while bearing the knowledge of his role in what happened. He reminds Pickett that he cannot revert sort of back into himself like he did after the loss of his family, but he has to bear the burden, the shame, and he's got to continue on. Additionally, Emma, once she learns who she is, she must suffer the loss of Lord Rake, who's really a father figure to her, and she has to command an army and fulfill her duty to the rabbits that are under her. Heather mentions her all at her ability to carry the pressure and not break. These instances and characters present readers with examples of resilience in the face of difficulty and to not give up even when they are faced with grief and weariness. I really enjoyed book 2. I look forward to getting a review of book 3 and 4 to you very soon. And I hope that's helpful to you as parents who are trying to find great things for your children to read, stories with great themes and characters that can help orient their hearts towards truth and the true King. So I hope that's helpful to you, and I hope that you will join me next week for another book review.